Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Monday Not So Live show. I'm here in Atlanta, GA. Cheryl's here in beautiful Las Vegas. Dave is out on assignment. We have, not in his place, because who can replace Dave, but in a slot that might be occupied by Dave is Kevin Bubbles Gregory coming in from Connecticut.
Correct.
I should know where you are, right?
That's where I am right now. That's a good guess.
Okay.
Am I here very often?
Well, welcome back to the show. We're having you on because we have a lot of DEKA thoughts and questions over the weekend. But I will happily invest in a microphone for you if you'd like. I can't get you this one. This is the super duper expensive one that took me over 10 years to buy, but I can get you a microphone.
Wow.
I can get you at least something as good as Scott the Fane has. How about that?
I mean, that would be awesome. I'll have to be a regular guest on the show then.
Here's a question. Have you been on all of them? Have you been on Race Brain?
I don't think I've been on Race Brain.
Have you been on Running Public?
No.
What are they doing over there? They're sleeping on you. I can't believe that Bracken wouldn't have had you on at some point.
Well, there's no running in DEKA Strong, so that's probably why they want to stay on.
I know, but they do pretty good. Like I haven't listened in a really long time, but I know that they were good at like not just getting like, hey, guess what? We have Hunter and Lauren on. You know what I mean? Like they were good at getting lots and lots of guests back in the day. Or back in the day, it was, I want to say Hobie and Amelia, but there's been a lot of people since Hobie and Amelia. I sound like Joe.
I don't even know who those people are.
Listen, I was talking to my buddy Gary today, and we were pondering how many people at a Spartan, not in the elite wave, would know who Ryan and Lindsay are because it's been like 3 years.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Lindsay Webster because I was very randomly watching the Golden Trail series, which is this race where it's mostly run up the mountain, run down the mountain. And again, it's a very specific kind of trail runner. There's some money in the series, and it's not people that you see doing the 50 milers and 100 milers. It's a different kind of racer. And I know the guy that hosts it and recorded with him recently and now can't find it, or put it out and forgot. One of those two things happened. I don't think I put it out though, so I got to have him back on. Anyway, the point is I'm doing my YouTube, falling asleep. Like, let's just find something to watch. And sure enough, like bounding down the course, 6th place, Lindsay Webster. I was so happy. Like, what a pleasant surprise when you see someone that you weren't expecting to see.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were showing her in 6th, I thought maybe she eventually made the podium. She didn't. But I think they were just trying to show like the top 10, I guess. But it's funny because most of these teams, they have kind of teams that send their racers to these races, right? So, you know, there's Team Hoka and Team Solomon, and it said Lindsay Webster, no team. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's just her and Rai out there doing it. So anyway, you want to talk DEKA Chicago back at the Navy Pier, Kevin?
Sure. Where do you want to start?
Well, where do we want to start? Well, should we start with mostly positives?
Sure.
Okay. How was it? Was it mostly positive?
Yeah, I think the production value has grown this year. Anybody that's been to a DEKA Fit in previous years and then shown up to one this year would notice that the production value has grown significantly. The venue, if you've ever been to the Navy Pier, there's so much to do on the pier alone outside of the race itself with the Ferris wheel and the speedboats and its summertime concerts. There's always that big energy as you're walking down the pier to get to the race. Most of the names of the DEKA HQ staff, like Yancey was out for his anniversary trip, so no Yancey. Mark Jones wasn't there. Nelson was there. Tyler Spencer has been the race director for the DEKAs. He was there. But certain names that you might be used to seeing weren't there as far as like the staff. But
I heard Mark is no longer going to do it at all.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, but
I think he's done. I think he's moved on. But anyway,
yeah,
I know Robin was there. I always see Robin's content. Robin was there.
Yeah, she was stalking us as we raced around the track on her skates, which is always fun. I was explaining to her that I feel a presence, but I don't hear the hoof prints. So I'm like, is someone chasing me or am I kind of free? And then you turn the corner with the farmers and you realize it's her. So always appreciate the camera and the content behind. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just keep spewing. So direct me, Matt,
spewing,
please.
Baby. Just keep spewing, baby. Well, I said mostly positive. Listen, I didn't hear anything bad about it. I think the thing that always jumps out to me is like, hey, we still don't have a ton of people. And I didn't want to cover that to the end, but just saying it now. Like I noticed there was like 400 people on Friday. And I was like, all right, Friday's probably not the biggest day, but it was kind of like DEKA wants to go bigger. The answer isn't just to add more days. Like you gotta have reason to have more people there, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of what jumped out to me, and I haven't even looked at the numbers yet. But like, obviously, it's not HYROX the Navy Pier numbers.
Yeah, there was notable downtimes, and each day had like a dip in participation. Friday specifically, like I wanted to race the first wave of the day, so that way I got my solo out of the way, so then I could do doubles later in the day. So I raced at 8, and then my next race was at like 2:30. I raced at 8, and then I hung out at 9 and 10, and then I looked around and the amount of people on the course was going down, and I'm like, I'm gonna go under my table here, and I had a table skirt on. I just took a nap. I slept for an hour.
Little George Costanza move, nice. I honor it.
I didn't have a ticking clock to freak anyone else out, but I just put on my H2O audio headphones with the noise cancellation, and I put my head in my backpack and just slept for an hour peacefully. And then I woke up and raced with Zach Seigen. Once the division, like the age group was kind of, if you look at a curve, like it was very participated in early, and then as the hours went on, it dipped. And then once teams started, it got busy again. And then, you know how awards is always at the end. Like the podiums actually were pretty well attended. In Austin, they were like 3 hours late, so everyone had to leave. So it was like one person on each podium, if that. But they did podiums per day, which I thought was interesting because HYROX in New York, you're like, okay, cool. When your division's over for the whole weekend, we're going to do awards on Monday at 11 a.m. So when you're back at work in Vegas, that's when awards are going to be happening. Right. And then at the end of the 2 weekends for whatever the qualification was, DEKA did awards every single day for each division. So that was kind of cool. So some people that may not have necessarily had the best time, that would have,
because it doesn't matter, because it's not. It's leaderboard based, not everyone from the race based like HYROX does it. So you could do it. You could do it every day. That seems like a race I should have shown up at, maybe, Cheryl. I could have snagged the podium.
You could. I mean,
Well, I did look at the leaderboard is, I don't know which version, the race result version or the Spartan version, but I was looking at, because I was counting heads, and the age group drop down was the normal age group drop down. It wasn't the 120 to 150 or whatever I would be in. It was like 50 to 54, even on doubles. And so, because I was trying to see how I would do.
That's weird. Yeah.
Where do you go? Do you go to race results or Spartan? Where do you go?
I prefer race results, but I could not.
Is that Jen behind you? Is that Jen?
Jess.
Who's Jess?
It's Amber's twin.
Okay. Can she hear me?
Came up on purpose.
She knows that. She knows I'm messing with her. Come on.
I prefer race results because it's usually updated like faster, where Spartan has a lag. But I could not find the link for my life this weekend. And then with the Spartan one, it just showed like the top 3. It just showed only podium people. So top 3 elite, top 3 in each age group. And I'm like, I want to see where certain people landed that maybe weren't in the elite, or I want to sort so I can see whatever. And I gave up. But Sub was better off. Like I said, comparatively, Austin had massive timing issues with the timing company, and it took them. I mean, I don't think they're all resolved still. People are still like, hey, my time from Austin's missing, or this is the case. But timing wise, pretty well done this time. Awards were very close to being on time, and each day. I don't know. Go ahead, Cheryl.
How were start times for people? I know that when the season started, they were really having a hard time getting people out of the gate when they had signed up for their time to start. Mm-hmm. Have they resolved that?
I'll explain what they did and then answer your question. So you sign up for a half-hour window, and then you go into the starting corral, and then they're releasing people like, I don't know, from 6 people every 2 to 4 minutes or whatever. I don't know what the rhythm is. It seems like it's changed. But when I was at registration and someone would get there and like, oh my God, registration was long. I'm going to be late for my start time. Like, relax, take a breath. When you get down there, warm up properly, go to the bathroom. And when you're ready, go to the starting line. So there's a rolling start within that half-hour window. If you start, you can start a half hour later if you want to. You can't start before your starting time, but they might have got a little behind initially, but no one was ever like starting significantly after their start time unless they were really late themselves. So start times are pretty well on. I think they can have, they have 15, 16 pieces of equipment per lane. They don't have the equivalent judges to support that many lanes except for elite. So that's the only time they're launching a wave that big. Every other time is like I said, 4 to 6 people at a time are going because that's what they have the judges for in the lane, in the zones. And sometimes maybe not even that much, which unfortunately, some honor counting in certain times.
So I would count my own reps?
You shouldn't have to, but there were certain times where I was going to go and count them out loud. So, I mean, Dave's addressed this before. He's like, you got one guy counting 2 people. That's why they got clickers and counting out loud and trying to correct. So that's
I wonder
open.
I wonder how we could sell it to Joe and Co. to get those machines, to get those computer tablets.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. From the
how could we sell it? Because they're going to say, well, volunteers are free, right? So they're going to say, well, why would we spend money when volunteers are free? But if we could figure out a way to say it's actually going to, like, trust me, in the long run, you'll get more racers if you're willing to invest. Because how many do they want to let go in each wave? 10?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but from hosting my own events, I'd like to get as many people through as fast as possible because that increases your.
Let's like right now, if they're doing 4 to 6, we can at least double it, right?
Yeah. Well, right now there's so many waves. You don't need they have enough capacity to 4 to 6. They're staying on time. People are having a good experience, but the goal is to sell more tickets and scale more, which is going to run into we don't have enough judges.
Well, this is what Cheryl had a light bulb moment. I think it was about a year ago when she was just like, wait a minute, they're never going to grow. They can never grow at this current capacity. Like when that was decided, it was like, oh shit. So that's what I'm saying. And it's also cutting it super close. If we only need 4 or 5, but then you have 2 and 3 instead, it's even worse. So getting a dozen of those screens and machines, then you've got 2 people in that station, period, maybe 1 even. And then you could also do that for what else could we use it for?
Well, the burpees for sure.
Well, I would say the burpees. I'd say the burpees are the one you don't want to do it because they're last. Okay. I think you need extra eyes there. I think that would be maybe not.
That could help. That can make it more or less subjective and have more heads there, but also have the technology.
Right.
Yeah, you could have somebody looking for the green screen.
Live stream.
The sit-ups.
Did you watch the live stream, Matt?
On your phone?
I know the men's was terrible. It was sideways. I couldn't figure out how to change it, but the women's one came out a lot better. I didn't watch it back yet, but
I started. I think it tells me Bubbles is now live. It's weird because I think there should be a way to turn these off, but I'm constantly getting these because somebody somewhere is doing a fucking sim somewhere.
Yeah.
So, and on a big HYROX weekend, it's like somebody's doing a thing with two viewers to show their husband, and it's like, what are you doing? I don't want you to slow my feet down. I mean, I don't want to be bothered with it. But anyway, I did go back at one point and I tried to do the thing where I could slide my little finger so I could kind of watch, right? But you can't do that too great on here. So I didn't watch that long.
I did live stream it on YouTube because Anthony messaged me asking which platform, and I was like, I don't know, I've never done YouTube before, but it would be horizontal and more.
Oh, the shit that maybe I did try. Shit that maybe because now I'm remembering. Oh no, okay. I want to give you some free marketing advice.
Yeah.
You don't have the link in your bio, which is exactly where you should have put it. Just like put it in your bio. You're like, go to the Underdog bio. Go to the Underdog bio. There's 20 links, way too many. Yeah. Turn off some of the old ones. And none of them say YouTube. Okay. They all say whatever. Like come hang out at fucking, whoever's house, whatever. Barbecue with AJ. And then at the very top are those tiny logo things, like a little Facebook logo, a little YouTube logo. And I was wise enough to touch that. Most people won't be. So anyway, next time you do it, put it right fat number one
sure
link.
I will be the only one willing to live stream Boston. So I'll take your advice. And
listen, you guys, listen, if AJ or whoever's AJ next time, whatever, but put it in a place where people can watch it. It will help.
I don't know if you remember, but back in maybe 2021, but that was the first time I ran DEKA Fit. And I think they were releasing maybe 20 people at a time. I mean, it was a much larger, we had a lot more volunteers. There was a live stream. There was a legitimate live stream. There were
a company that actually knows what they're doing.
Yeah, you know, really good coverage. And we had rabbits. I was a rabbit for a while. I really enjoyed that. Like, it feels like there are so many things that have just regressed in this race. And I'm wondering what your solution is for this, because I think
his solution is to single-handedly hold up all of DEKA.
Well, he is the mayor of DEKA Town. We know this.
Well, he was just the mayor of DEKA Town. Now he's the architect and the what's the name of that guy in the Matrix?
Public Works director.
Is it the architect? Like DEKA is like Bubbles is DEKA. DEKA is Bubbles. I don't know what math equation that is, but like he's doing it.
Right.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you weren't like at multiple DEKA events this weekend, because you've done that before. You're like, I'm going to be here and then fly here Saturday.
I just, what's the solution? Because
there's no one like you. Is there anyone like you, Kevin?
No, there's no one like me. That's why I started.
There's no one like you. I can wait for the night with you.
As an athlete,
I imagine the things we do.
You got him going now.
Well, I feel like there used to be a West Coast version of you, or one or two, and now they're all disillusioned. You're hanging in there though. You won't go down.
No, I mean, what's the solution? I don't know. I think I had a lot of conversations this weekend with gym owners and athletes and current athletes, former athletes, and then just like people through social and stuff. And it's cool to see DEKA's like in bigger cities now, and they're just taking all the same venues that HYROX has taken because they're good venues, and they're putting all that money into that. But there's other places that I'm obviously not in the office, so I don't know why these decisions aren't made. But talking to Tyler, like his objective and goal was to have all the athletes paid before Chicago. So when Marcus Wallace and Lauren got their checks, everyone would be excited that we're caught up and everyone gets paid on time. But instead, the monies for 2025 aren't paid out, and those two are fine. But I mean, people are like, how much do they owe you? I'm like, I don't look at it. It's depressing, but it'll come when it comes. But who else is going to have that patience? And I think, do you guys know Nicole Kelly? She's Canadian. She represents Frontline, the Rucks, blonde girl. She did like the Ruck Ultra.
Okay.
All right. So we had dinner after the Ranta Halfit shakeout run. Shout out Lauren Rantala and Mark Howe. Went to their shakeout, which 20 miles is an hour and 45-minute drive from the venue, but it was worth it. And she's like she's been trying hard for the number of years since she found DEKA to help get it to Canada and make it a big thing and have a real fit there and this and that, and doing her own research and trying to find a venue and just bringing things to the table. Like, hey, here's a venue, here's a cost, here's a discount. This will be a great place for America to come over and join us and Canada to get to. And she's like, it's just frustrating. I do all this legwork and be told good idea and stuff then goes up the pipe and then, nope, that's not good enough. And like Amber and Zach went through the same stuff before when they tried to do the same thing, and not just Canada things, but she's like, well, how many people left? Like, we're here because we are too stubborn to leave, but how many people have come with good ideas? I'm like, yeah, I'll just move on.
There are too few people who have a larger vision of what this does for people, right? I mean, you're here because it's important for people to be able to have access to this event, but that's not going to ultimately carry it if certain problems aren't solved.
Correct.
Yeah, I think what unfortunately one of Spartan's weaknesses is, which comes back to the budgetary things, is if someone leaves, right, Spartan typically doesn't replace them. They just give the job to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So you've now got, as far as I know, like Europe running most of Spartan America and kind of a lot of everything. So for example, there was an issue this weekend. There was a series race, which Nicole won, and the woman who's supposed to get third place was not there, and they made it a rule. You know, they like to do this where like you have to show up to get paid. So in this case, they're like, well, we didn't tell her she had to be here to get third, so we'll give her third, but we're not going to give her the money.
That doesn't even make sense.
Of course.
Why give her the prize? Like, you're not giving the prize. Why would you give the status, I guess?
So, and listen, that was the rule. They knew the rule. They especially knew the rule because it had come up the previous race because, to your point, the whole reason I'm bringing this up, Spartan had committed to paying these things on time. We're going to pay the series on time. There's 3 Spartan series in North, South, and West. We're going to pay those on. We're going to pay those at the races, and we're going to pay DEKA at these 3 races at the races. So that first DEKA race came, and they did it. People were shocked, but they did it. The series came up, the Southern Series, and they were like, oh, we forgot to actually do the math on the back end to give away the money. They actually had the fake checks and everything standing by. Now, someone could, in fact, do this like, I don't know, on a piece of paper, but they didn't want to do that. So they're like, sorry, everybody. So, but it had come up because there were people who went there. And imagine being even more mad. I came here only because I knew I wouldn't get paid and then didn't get paid. So like it was in the air that you have to show up. There was already a mulligan about that. So it's her fault for not going, whatever. But the point is that like these decisions
are
being
keeping the money then? They're not trickling it down the fourth, or what did that decision? I didn't pay attention to any obstacle racing stuff this weekend.
Listen, I have a company called Obstacle Racing Media. Maybe you've heard of it. Okay. Before that, I had a staffing company.
Finding out all the information I'm bringing you today.
Before I had a staffing.
How cute are Nicole and Logan going to Harry Potter on Broadway? That was so cute.
Nicole only won by like 10 minutes, by the way. It was very close. So anyway, good for her. Hasn't raced in a few years. Boop, drops in, picks up $3,000. That's not bad, right? Yeah. $3,000. It's not nothing for a couple of races. Anyway, where was I going with this? So who's ever making those decisions is probably too busy deciding, like, can we do World's Toughest Mudder again next year? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all combined. And that's been my complaint for a long time is they treat it like one brand, which you definitely don't do. That's the opposite of what to do when you have multiple brands and multiple fan bases. You don't treat them all the same. But you back end things that you can do. You back end some production, you back end some HR, you back end some accounting, but you don't front end all the marketing and all the whatever. And that's part of the problem. So her really good idea probably got really high on the list one day, and then it just got buried because there were 20 other fires they were putting out with Spartan, with Tough Mudder, with LaRuda, and then it just sort of fell off, right? So that's probably what happened, unfortunately. Did you see, by the way, that the middle of Canada is getting a deadly dozen? Did you see that?
Wwhat? Who's doing that?
What's the middle of Canada? Is that Alberta? I know that's kind of west.
Like Calgary?
Calgary's the west. Calgary's the west. Name a city. Type in the comments, guys. Oh wait, Winnipeg. We're not live. What?
Winnipeg? I only know my Canadian geography based on hockey teams, professional ones, not the minors.
I saw
Manitoba.
Hang on, I'm asking chat. Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg. It might be Winnipeg. I'm gonna look it up on my phone here.
It's cold there, so hopefully it's in the summertime.
Is it Winnipeg?
Pretty far up north.
I'm gonna message Jason while we're talking. Jason, he's up. He never sleeps, that guy.
So Canada's got a race director that's willing to do this because we're having a hard time getting race directors here in the United States.
Say that again.
We don't have a race director willing to put on a deadly dozen in the United States right now.
Well, I was pushing for Kevin, but basically what we need is a financial backer.
Holding up DEKA, he only has so much bandwidth.
Listen. I know he could delegate to some of his cohort. He's got a wife. He's got AJ. He's got the whole family of Underdog.
He has this massive following. They're all wearing the same shirts.
Right.
Somebody's
got
it.
Do they want to? But do they want to?
That's me, actually.
But the question is, do they want to stay with the brand that may never grow and may stay the status quo, or hop on this new hot thing called Deadly Dozen Fitness Racing? I think that's the move. if somebody's listening and has a few bucks, we put Kevin in charge. Kevin will do the exact same thing he did for DEKA. He'll put it on the map everywhere. Yeah, I'm going to try this thing. But here's what he's going to do. But here's what he's going to do. He's going to smartly not put on 20 gym events, because that's not the answer. And I don't know why Jason still isn't listening to me about that. The answer is not to confuse the market. I spoke with one, Chris Rogloski. Perhaps you've heard of her. 2022 World's Toughest Mudder World Champion. 2022
She's very nice.
HYROX World Champion. I said, hey, they're giving away real money at the Deadly Dozen World Championships. You should do one. And she goes, I don't know. Isn't that the really confusing one? There's too many categories. So she didn't know, and she's pretty fucking plugged in. I go, no. This is just the track race. Because they're giving away a shitload of money, you probably heard. I'll be over there. You'll see me doing my amazing coverage that only I can do, right? Not that only I can do. The way I do it. Anyway, she didn't even know. So in this fictional world that I live in, Kevin, where $1 million shows up and you promote Deadly, don't just put on some amazing at tracks. And people be like, holy shit, this is awesome. It's kind of like HYROX, but not. And I really like it. Am I wrong or am I right? What's going on here?
No, it sounds good.
Cheryl, back me up, damn it.
We need more races in the United States and in North America. I don't care if it's Deadly Dozen. I don't care if it's Trika. I don't know what it needs to be. I feel like Trika, like if DEKA's not going to be able to pull off what they need to pull off to keep things going, Trika is a great substitute, right?
I know, but we're 2 years from Trika getting here.
Yes, but I will say, like, the DEKA Gym events are still, I think they're still great. I think they're doing that one with all in October. You've got to be involved in that one, Kevin.
I found out about it as everybody else did, but because of the end of qualification season ending earlier than it was originally posted for Strong and Mile, my late September event I canceled, and I may or may not do October. I haven't decided yet.
So let's talk about what this is, by the way. Let's talk about what this is. Kevin, can you explain it in 50 words or less?
And you need to explain the qualification deadline. I didn't realize it changed.
So every year there's a fit deadline and there's a mile and strong deadline.
They're not the same?
No.
Because fits are different. You know, the calendar's a little different. But
they don't ever adjust it to make it better. Like sometimes there's an event like the week after. So why don't they just do that?
Matt, stop speaking logically. So
gym events, I get it. Gym events, it takes weeks and weeks. Fit, there's only one of it, and you control the data of a fit. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the last fit of 2026 qualification season is New York City, which is the end of September. 26th, 8th, I think. So originally this year, because things have changed every year. I don't know if you've noticed, dates have changed. World Champs has changed dates and months, and qualifications have changed from 15 to 12 to 15 to 30 to 15, whatever it is. So I'm like always trying to keep my antennas up, because when the season ends, I want to make sure all my athletes are qualified in the categories they want to race in, and they're able to. And then last year or 2 years ago, things changed with, if you ran elite, you're not allowed to run age group in the same day, which threw a monkey wrench into a bunch of our planning. Some people got snubbed because they're like, well, I'm going to take my elite race, obviously. Sorry. So that partner is lung because you couldn't replace them. So keeping an eye out as I plan my calendar, when can I space in 5 events to host qualification events for 2026 this year before it ended? Originally it was the end of September for everything, because that's your age at the end of September is your age for the year. Different than HYROX, it's age on the date. So all the rule differences, like trying to keep them up to date, because I don't want to go to chat every time I get asked a question. So originally it was end of September, then it got moved to the 15th. But the 15th or whatever that Sunday night is the last weekend qualification for Strong and Mile, which is also the Fort Lauderdale DEKA Fit. Well, I like to go to the DEKA Fits, so I'm not going to be hosting an event at my gym if I'm at DEKA Fit. The weekend before is DC HYROX and Labor Day weekend. So if I host an event, a bunch of our athletes aren't even going to be here for that. The week before that is something else, and then we have a Strong Mile on the 15th and 16th of August. So I'm like, I'm not going to do 2 in 2 weeks. Does that explain the first question?
Yes. So second question is, So you've decided to go ahead and hop on this event that they're doing the first weekend in October.
Possibly. Not sure yet. I haven't
And
decided.
what is special about that event?
I think it's just for marketing to have everybody or all the gyms in the world to give them a weekend where it's DEKA Mile only. They're going to host this, and then DEKA HQ, like worldwide, is going to award some sort of recognition to whoever runs the best DEKA miles for the day, and then the gym. Maybe it's the average. I don't. Thanks for pulling that up because I've looked at it, but I don't have it memorized. The gym that has the most participation for that day gets one recognition, and then the one that has the best average time. I think, I don't know if it's overall average time or top 5 average time or whatever. I don't have any doubt we could win the average time one. We might not have the Grayson Kilgore that can run 17 flat, but we have quite a few people that can run pretty fast DEKA mile times in pretty dense numbers. So it's just a matter if I want to host an event that weekend.
So how about I read some of the FAQ?
Okay.
Do it.
Which the first time I saw FAQ, by the way, in the internet,
Did you sound it out?
I was like, why does it say fuck you?
I still do that.
But that's literally what I thought, because I was like what, this was like in like an alt, like before it was like a board, and it was like, I thought it was a joke, like a it's a bug on my leg. Sorry, did I sound like a teenage girl?
Have Stacy kill it.
Dude, my boys are such pussies. They take after me. When the bugs come, like, they run, and Stacy has to kill them. It's pretty funny. You have full flexibility across the 3-day event weekend, Friday, October 2nd to Sunday, October 4th. You can run heats across all 3 days to maximize participation. How exactly is the overall gym versus gym winner calculated? There will be 2 categories in which an affiliate gym can win the challenge: age group and teams. The average of all DEKA marks, oh my God, fucking DEKA marks. Would you stop it? The average of all DEKA times completed in age groups and teams are calculated. The fastest of those average times in each category win. Can we recruit non-members to compete in our gym? Yes. In fact, it is highly encouraged. Recruiting local talent, friends, family, and neighbors is a great way to bring new faces into your gym. Non-affiliate gym members will be able to compete at your gym by booking through your gym directly. Please note, only those athletes who are registered members for your gym will count towards your total average. Those athletes who compete in your gym but who are not members will be counted toward their gym's total.
I have so many questions just reading the last 2.
So I will stop the screen share to say this, that this was, oh wait, we're back in the void.
Where are you guys?
Well, we're in the
dark
void.
in here. I'm scared. There might be bugs. Oh, phew, we're back.
So how it was explained to me was, first of all, like, I'm not a member of Twisted Cycle Woodstock that I go to. They changed their name a few times, but I'm going to go with that one. Kevin and Mandy. Shout out Kevin and Mandy. Laura, I'm sure you know them, Kevin.
Yeah.
I go to their gym. Their gym's not close to me, but I love them. And so I get on my bike and I pedal up. That's just kidding. I get in my car and I drive up there. So I'm not a member, right, of their gym. So of course I'll like give them credit for it, is what, like, but what they're saying, which I'm not quite sure how this works though, they were saying like, oh, the gym down the street from Kevin's, that's not a DEKA gym, Joey's fitness box, could say, I want to help you by participating in this. Here's my 10 members, and we're all going to go under Joey's fitness box, which doesn't like make sense to me. Like, I thought when they were first saying you don't have to be an affiliate, like, oh, let's say you have a gym that has Rams but isn't affiliate, you could participate as a way to, like, everybody's welcome to this thing, whether you pay us the $1,000 a month or not. But it's the other way around. They're saying Joe's fitness box can send 5 members to Kevin's gym, and they don't have to be underdog. They can be Joe's fitness box, which I don't see anybody doing.
I think there's gyms in our area that are not affiliates, but they always come to our event. They train people for DEKA. They're not affiliates, but they have a pretty good presence, and we welcome them because big fun. But they
would submit under your name though, right?
Oh, they would race here, but when they register, they pick the name of their gym and then they put their own gym in. So if you look at the race results on any given like affiliate page, like when we host an event, you look down, a lot of them are underdog, but there's some other like Joe's Fitness Box or whatever, or some people just make up shit like
yes.
I hope I get an email next week. I hope I get an email next week. Dear Matt, I am the owner of Joe's Fitness Box in Connecticut.
Thanks for the shout out.
You do not have the right to mention my gym name anymore on that gym.
But that means that if I'm showing up as Joe's Fitness Box, I'm competing with that Joe's Fitness Box team in this event. Just because I show up to your gym isn't going to help you in your numbers. You can't get any winners to come in.
Correct. The participation, I'm not sure if it's like, oh, I hosted the event. Is the participation of everybody from my event the winner of most participation? Or I don't need to host an event. We have athletes all over the world. Like, we'll just go to everyone else's event and we'll win. I didn't have to do any legwork to put on an event, and we'll have the best average time because all of our athletes are competing in their own states and local affiliates. Is that what I'm understanding?
All right, let's go back to these questions. What does my gym win if we place at the top? And now I do understand that if you do a big enough event, you would get a lot of members from other gyms. Like the events I've been to, there's only been like 20, 30 people, and I think they're all just kind of like from wherever. So there's never like a single, like I think there's 3 or 4 that come down from Chattanooga, which is like an hour north of this gym, but I guess it does make sense. The Gym versus Gym event weekend will offer affiliate gyms and their and their athletes an epic global event experience. For those who win,
global leaderboard.
Wait for it. Ultimate bragging rights are on offer, as well as the coveted Golden Ram Trophy will be awarded to the fastest gym and the gym with the highest participation globally. All participants will receive a finisher t-shirt, medal, and their official DEKA mark featured on the global leaderboard.
Matt, are they going to etch our name in the statue in Greece, in Sparta?
You know, okay, well, now they've lost me. They've lost me again, guys.
I'm listening for what's different from a regular event. And so far I hear Golden Ram. That's
electrolytes. This one has electrolytes.
Yeah, Golden Ram and bragging rights.
You already get bragging rights.
It gets
okay. That's true.
It sadly gets slightly worse, guys.
I mean, I guess
it sadly gets slightly worse. So are you standing by?
Okay, I do have something good to say about this. Eventually,
I like an aspect of it. Go ahead, Matt. Read us.
Go ahead, Matt. You're so excited.
To be officially, I'm going to do this in my announcer voice. All right, you ready?
Okay.
This is Matt Davis testing for DEKA announcer. To be officially counted on the DEKA Gym versus Gym leaderboard, your gym must have a minimum of 26 individuals racing, age group, and/or 26 individuals racing in teams, totaling 13 teams across the whole event weekend. Without these, your gym will not be in contention of the top prize.
Oh,
so
you're not going to win if you don't have that. Oh, I like the minimums included. Like if I race, AJ races, Josh races, Kelly races, and Joe races, our 5 people are going to put up sub 20s, and we're good. But having that many people that are going to
there's some depth.
Yeah. Instead of us throwing out our all-star squad.
Okay.
Right. But you've just
average time.
How about 10? 26 people is a lot of people. 26 people is an entire event for some people.
It is.
It's a lot of people. It's too many.
It is. And they have to all register properly.
So the difference is, I think the difference, what they're saying is, rather than all do events, one in the spring, one in the summer, one in the fall, let's give you a fall date you can all do, and we'll create content around it, and we'll make it a thing. Like, it does make sense, except that they kind of have half the pieces missing, is what it feels.
The issue with the fall events, which is why we haven't had any huge ones, is it's after qualification ends. So it's like, it's fine, but now we're all in serious training blocks for Worlds. We're not like, let's fly from Colorado to Connecticut to put a qualifying time in for 18 months from now.
Do it when it matters. You know, like have it be one of the weekends in September where it would make a difference.
Everybody's participating. That's the hard part for us. Like, I don't mind. I'll do it. I don't care. I'll race every weekend, but us building volume to I don't want to say a non-qualifying event, but the timeline's so vast.
Basically is, yeah.
That people are like elsewhere. And also that's right in the mix of all the East Coast HYROXs.
Everything going on. It is the weekend of LT games, which I will talk about in a minute, but there's plenty going on in the fall to be putting this in the fall.
Yeah, I think like many Spartan things, like it has the kernels of potentially being a good thing. It's like almost really a good thing. Like, I think they're looking at it kind of like the CrossFit Open. Like, hey, let's get everybody doing a thing, which I know, by the way, they hold either monthly or quarterly challenges. Like, I've seen them, and it's like, this month we're doing this.
Those are fun.
whatever times, fastest
Yeah.
5 times or whatever. But I don't think those really draw a crowd unless you tell me different, Kevin.
I usually put a team together to win individual overall or each category, and then I call it a day, because the prizes that we're supposed to get, I'll plead the fifth on this one.
Okay. So
I like winning them. The bragging rights are definitely there, especially when the gym that's in second's one that we race head to head with at Worlds. So
that's awesome. So I think this should be what they do instead of making up the random challenges. Do this once a quarter around the times that people always do them. So what are the typical timelines of the races you and the other big gyms or gyms consistently do, Kevin? What are the months they typically do them?
Well, as an affiliate's suggested that I host 4 events a year, so roughly quarterly. But for me, I'm trying to forward stack them in the year where wintertime's good, like after January, because everyone's in, I got to get in shape. So get a baseline for the beginning of the year. Then sometime in the spring, usually on the earlier end, but far enough out from like January. So that way we had a couple months between, then an early summer and then a late summer now, because fall, like you don't have much September to fit it in. So
January, April, just give me months here.
Yeah. January. I mean, even if you did 3, January, April, and July or August. Look, but they really should look at their race calendar. And I think there's 3 fits between New York and Worlds. There's DC, Atlanta. I feel like there's another one
that don't count until the next year's Worlds.
Correct. Like last year in Knoxville, I'm like, that it's cool if you're local, but you know, fly in to put up a time that doesn't matter for 14 months.
But again, remember, they're trying to get people off the couch. They're not just getting people who are trying to get Worlds times.
I know, but that's how I sell it to my people.
Right, but I think there is a way to do both. I think it's not that tough to, again, you can change if you move the calendar forward, as long as it's not back to screw people will be thrilled. By the way, we added this event and we know it's a couple weeks before Worlds, so now it's the final one. Congratulate, like all you've done is give yourself more chance. You don't have to say it's unfair to any other country, to Italy, to who, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, listen, that's just how it goes. Like they added a race. What do you want? If you want to come and do it. But otherwise, again, as long as you don't move it backwards, it would be fine. But they're trying to get the masses. I mean, we haven't had a fit since 2021. We had one of the first ones. And at that time, I didn't even know it was going to become a thing. We were at Ragnar that day. We finished our Ragnar and, you know, didn't shower. We just straight to this fucking where they do gun shows. This really, I mean, it was like 1 degree below Kmart parking lot. Kmart, right? Yeah. It was really bad. And it was like 300 people. And honestly, at that point, it was still before HYROX and DEKA were a thing. It was like, is this another obstacle race? Is this Tough Mudder X? You know what I mean? It wasn't a sport yet. So it'll be interesting to see how the turnout goes. As I've said before on here, aren't 2 or 3 affiliates that do events here. One's in Atlanta, one's where they live, another one Columbus is like, you know, like basically like Reno to you. You know what I mean? Like nobody, I'm not going to Columbus. There's only 3 or 4. And then those HYROX emails that come out, it's constant. And my region, I might see 1 Georgia and like 10 Floridas. So for some reason, Georgia does not have the fitness bug yet. For some reason.
But you have the Beltway.
Yeah. So Matt, you're breaking up. Check your internet.
Yeah.
While he's checking his internet, Kevin, what was the thing that you like about this?
I think the opportunity for a gym, let's say you see the value in DEKA, you see the value for your people, but you also want to build your name and brand globally, or at least regionally. You want your name to show up on things. You're just getting into it. Being able to put together a nice event and get your name on the leaderboard that's going to build exposure to your brand, I think is awesome. And that's really what's drawing me to consider it, because we already know that our brand is good, but I feel like if we don't submit a score or like participate, then we're not, like you mentioned earlier, like why did I do a live stream and this event and go to all these fits and this and that? Like I'm trying to do everything I can to continue to help do my part to push the brand forward. Mm-hmm. So I think, when I talk to gyms and they're like, well, how do you make so much money from DEKA? I'm like, well, I actually use the stuff that they give you. I go to events. I host events. There's other things, other gyms that have big member bases that are local do with charging for quarterly challenges, or they're better with vendors and getting sponsor money from vendors and stuff like that. So utilizing the stuff that's already there, especially as a newer brand or an up and coming brand perhaps. And then the test, last year there was they called it a regional face off or something. There was a gym in Ohio that hosted a 8-lane DEKA Strong that was like a few weeks before World Champs, and going there to test myself against other people in my age group or whatever, like it had potential. It didn't get as big as I know that they wanted, but DEKA Strong, we're never racing against 5 people at once. So being able to simulate that allows you to have that competitiveness. And I think if this can promote an event and get more people to it where you can go head to head, and that's good, but most gyms have 1 lane or 2 lanes. They're running a time trial anyway. So the comparative, like put a time up and see where it stands against everybody on that day. I think it's redundant against the global leaderboard, but
what do you think about, why don't you do it on a cruise ship?
I don't own a cruise ship. I've never been on a cruise ship, and I don't have the budget to take the team on a cruise ship. So
wash your hands a lot.
Just a thought.
Yeah. I mean, Pat Lever is going to let me know how the cruise ship is, because he won HYROX World Championships in the 70 to 74 age group, and he's taking his ticket and he's going. So I can't wait to hear.
We all want to know. We all want to know how this is going to. I mean, this is going to be the story of the century, is how that cruise goes. I have one thing to say about this event before we move on.
Okay.
I love the idea of just trying to team up, and next time you talk to, are you trying to get attention while I'm talking?
I want to see if I could do something with the camera lens.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can I keep talking?
Sorry.
All right. Jeez, it's like, all right. Next time you talk to Matt Halfhill, talk to him about his idea that HYROX really should have a team aspect where gyms can compete against each other at these events, where people stay around and cheer on their teams, to be able to see who can have the best, average time or cumulative time or something like that. I mean, we really are missing that. All too often, this is just an individual sport. And I think any attempt to make it to where we're all sort of cheering each other on, I think is just another level that would be really cool. And he's thought it through. I think he's got a really good idea. And it isn't even something that HYROX would have to do. Like, you could just have an app that everybody joined or whatever, to then be able to take all that data and compare times and, I don't know, bragging rights, all that sort of thing. I think it would be fun.
Remember, Spartan used to do that.
I know. Nor'easter OCR was the first team I was ever a part of, with Kelly Sullivan and Nathan Oriel and Kieran McCormick. And
it would automatically populate
and Jim
on the
Delory.
website.
Yeah. You would and it would
teams.
sort. Yeah, it would show you your teams, everyone from your team that was registered. And then your score was like the average of your best 4 athletes or whatever.
Right, or the fastest 6 or something.
Yeah, whatever the number was. And so we'd send 15 people to a Spartan race, and we'll all right, hopefully Mike Maragliak runs really well and wins the race, but I'm just hoping to contribute to the team by getting one of the top 4 times and to contribute. So,
hey, I know. Listen, I know you got to go, and we haven't talked about the bike thing. So can we quickly talk about the bike thing?
Sure. All right, the Matt Halfhill idea, cool. I don't know how it would do, but the data is all there. So if someone,
it's all there. Wouldn't be hard. Yep.
Got to identify who's on what team. All right, what do you want to know about the bike? You want me to tell you from top to bottom? Stepper.
Just tell people what people are concerned about.
All right, everyone's worried the bike's probably harder. They don't know how it works. All you need to know is it's easier.
Damn it! Is it breaking up? By the way.
Only for you, Matt.
Yep.
All right, give me 1 second. Hold on. Don't say
Kevin, maybe you and I are actually breaking up and he's not. Maybe we're the problem.
All right, just don't say anything for 30 seconds.
All
right, don't say anything for 30 seconds. Hang on. You good?
You were frozen for the whole time. We couldn't tell if you started breathing again.
Well, I think I've solved it. Go ahead.
All right, so bike, step R. Set your
step
seat.
R?
Stepper. It's like
stepper bike.
Yeah.
I would go with stepper.
Sure. But there's no ER at the end, so it's like step with an apostrophe.
Stepper.
you need to know there's a gear shifter that you can't see what gear you're on until you press start. So the bikes are in comp mode. You press start, then the screen populates. You shift into the gear that you want, which I'll just tell you, you can figure it out for yourself. But if you're an average person, 3 is fine. If you're a bike superstar, 5's probably your best bet. Any higher is not going to work. If you're Dustin Needham, he doesn't follow this strategy. He just goes on 1, rips it 170 RPMs, and eventually he'll get done. But it's faster than his bike used to be. So if you were really, really good at the bike, if you hit a 5, you're probably going to hit your same time. If you used to be really bad at the bike, you're probably going to shave off 30 seconds. Just use a 3. If you go too high, you're going to use energy. It's not going to help. And you won't be as fatigued when you get off either way. That's my 30-second elevator pitch on the bike. You still have
should anybody in another company in another country using another bike be upset? Big deal or no deal or little deal?
I think it's off. I mean, I don't know what, I've never been on one of their bikes, so maybe they've been getting the benefit of having an easy bike for a long time. I'm not a fan of the easier bike because it takes my home run hitting ability away. Now I'm just hitting line drives in the gap, so I can improve by 20 seconds over somebody else. But the thing is, the Lycans, even with a lower damper for the ski in the row, they still seem to take more out of you. I don't know if because they're brand new, but having them here in the gym and practicing, like when I raced with Lauren, I was holding like a 135 on the row, which is not usually my doubles pace. With Zach, I was 129, but I was exhausted coming off of that. Where with the C2, I can hold 124 and come off and feel better than a 129. And that's why I like 135 with Lauren. I'm like, I'll save it. I'll make it up on everything else. And the ski as well. Not to mention the monitors take 3, 4, 5 pulls to get kicked on. And you can't touch the handles before your partner tags you. So despite what you may have seen from a reel that may have been up for an hour or 2, you can't touch the handles, only the buttons before you get tagged.
I did hear you say it will start, if you press on, it'll start on the 3rd pull. If you don't press on, it'll start on the 5th pull. Is that the same thing that Concept 2 does? Because I never turn those on either. I just grab it. So is it a number of pulls? I just thought it was like half a second, but I thought it counted what you did.
Lycan definitely doesn't count. Like you're like 5 pulls in, and then you finally get your first calorie or your first meter.
Does Concept 2?
It's faster. If you hit enter and then start, it registers quicker. And you can turn your monitor on. That's within the rules. But with Concept 2, that first pull will count if your monitor's on and you press just row or just ski. It'll pick up right away. With the Lycan, they posted a video on Thursday. If you hit enter 3 times on the monitor, it will register sooner. I didn't.
But that's taking longer anyway.
I mean, if you're standing there in doubles, like, cool, I can hit it 100 times, but in solo, you arrive. You're already reaching for the damper. You're fiddling with your foot straps. You're trying to get everything done as fast as possible. But then you still sit down and you're like, okay, I'm 5 pulls in and I still have 0. So the time we make up on the bike, we're losing on the erg. So I think net worldwide, we're fine. We're back in the same boat. And that's that with the conjunction of like the stricter enforcement of like full extension on the knees with lunges and burpees. I think that's why you're not seeing like the better or like DEKA Fit times breaking more records, or the average DEKA Fit elite time like going lower from year over year.
But weren't we saying they had easier machines anyway? Wasn't that the beef last year that their machines were way easier? Wasn't there a whole thing with that?
There's UC2 stuff. So for ergs, but for the bike, yeah, it looked like that bike that they had in England was, or whatever country, Spain, England, maybe China too.
It was a Schwinn.
It looked, yeah, the Schwinns we know, American Schwinns are way too generous with their calories. And that's why they're not approved here. But they're not called Schwinn in Europe. So I don't know the brands that they have over there. I haven't ridden any European bikes. I should have done it when I went for World's Toughest, but
all right, do you want to quickly talk about racing with the GOAT, and then we'll let you go because I know you said you had to go at 6:30.
Yes. Any specific questions you'd like me to touch?
I'm sure Cheryl does.
Is she as nice as she seems?
Yeah, she's 100% nice.
Yeah, I know that, by the way.
Yeah, even it's funny, like as fierce of a competitor as she is and as like driven as her face is when she's competing, even while we're competing, we're communicating and she's still like very polite, like, hey, I'm on your left hip height for the tag. And I'm like, wow, I thought I was a good communicator in teams. That is awesome. I'm like, on your left, wave over here. Like, so like learning, being that experience is super cool. And like, okay, I can be more deliberate with my vocal guidance and my partner and whatnot. But before, after everything, like when I found she was on the starting list, I was like, hey, if you're coming to Chicago, do you want to run teams? And her response was, if I can make it happen, I'm running elite, then I'm racing with Janelle. So if I can fit it in, and I'm looking at a 2-hour window with an awards ceremony right in the middle. I'm like, women's like 45 minutes, then awards, then we have like an hour and 15 minutes until the day's over. But she was super cool with, she's like, let's just figure out how to make it work. And then Janelle too, also, the three of us were chatting at the women's finish. Like, do you guys want to go first, or do you want me to go first, or like, what's going to be best? Like, both of us are going to put up qualifying times, but do you want to go first with no break, or do you want me to go? And then Janelle gets a break, and then Lauren, she's not getting a break anyway. But the whole interaction and piece was super cool. And then between the women's elite finish, Janelle and her finishing, us going to the starting line, us finishing, like Lauren spent every minute that she was on the race course, like shaking hands, kissing, like not kissing babies. That's, well, maybe taking pictures of everybody, answering questions. Like, I'm like, do you want me to grab you water, hydration, because you're going to race again? Like, she was just super nice about, hey, I have someone that I want you to meet. Hey, come meet Lauren. Like, just truly like one for the people. So all the rumors about her being the nicest person are absolutely true. And she's like, I love DEKA. I want to race more of them, and just schedule wise and training wise, but just great ambassador for the sport and whatnot. So
yeah, she really seems to care about this. And I know she and Yancey have a really great relationship, but it's nice to know that you can learn something after all this time, you know?
Yeah. I live in my own world and perspective. So being able, and I do learn something racing with different people all the time, whether it's someone that's haphazard and they're scatterbrained, and I'm like, okay, if I race with someone like that, I got to reel them in and keep them focused. But she's so dialed in and raced at the highest level in teams races with a variety of other great athletes. So to just take, that's what I was excited about. Like, number one, everybody has the same feeling when we go to the starting line with anybody. I don't want to let my partner down. And we both express that to one another. And I'm like, I don't need to break any records. We'll put up a time. It'll be amazing. We'll have fun. And if you go to Worlds, then maybe we can run it back.
Till wasn't there. Till doesn't want to hear you say that.
Who?
Till.
Who's Till?
HYROX commentator who likes world records.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yes.
That Till. I got you. But yeah, I had another thought and then you derailed me. But
I'm sorry, buddy. I do that. Sometimes I jab in with a joke, and sometimes it fucks people up. But I take my shots. I think you made a wrong analogy though with your thing about home runs. Wouldn't it just be like more people hit home runs, not your home runs become triples?
No, I think what I meant by that, if I explain it better, maybe you'll understand my perspective. I used to gain a minute and 15 seconds on my opponents by smashing the bike that way. Now I'll gain 30 seconds. So instead of it being like a big game-changing hit, it's like, okay, I'm just working my way back into the race.
Right.
Where everybody's going to hit a line drive to the outfield. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe
I understand.
A different sport.
I understand. All right, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Cheryl,
Nice to see you.
Thanks for sending your other best athlete of Las Vegas to Chicago to race with me. And Matt, thanks for having me.
See you, buddy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. There he goes. That was Bubbles.
That was it.
So I feel like there was something I was going to ask you that I already forgot. I already forgot. You want to refer to our list?
Sure. I mean, we talked a lot about DEKA. I think we're good on DEKA, but some stuff happened in HYROX, and LT Games is supposed to start registration this week, and I have heard nothing about it. I'm supposed to be able to register tomorrow, and there's been no communication whatsoever. I signed up for a mailing list, and nobody's heard a thing.
I I'll send a message right now.
That makes us people nervous. They don't realize that our whole lives are, hanging on it, right? But that's the thing. Like, do we have to listen? The level of attention and detail that these LT folks put toward this event. I mean, Wes and Connor, their whole team. It's such a great event, and then somebody's dropping the ball for them. And is not getting.
Yeah, I can't. Again, it's like these own goal mistakes that I always say that fucking baffle me. Today Ethics is like, guess what? This week we're gonna announce the workouts, right? And then USA, they've still got a fucking TBC on venue and date. It's like, okay, you've been saying that since March. Glad it's important to you. Glad it's important to you.
So I work out at LT. At least twice a week because their treadmills are spectacular. And so I always do, especially during the summer, I do my treadmill workouts there. And they've got the bank of TVs and, they've got the sports on and we're watching the World Cup and all that sort of things and that sort of thing. But there's also an LT TV, right? Where it's all just lifetime advertisements. So it's women love big diamonds, or it's, get your teeth done by this doctor. Cause these folks are different, right? They're very fancy folks, but in that, there are LT events that they advertise. They're currently advertising the Miami Half Marathon that they put on. They're advertising the Miami Turkey Trot. There are zero advertisements for LT games.
They still do Leadville, don't they?
Yes, they did. There's a great gravel bike race in Utah that they do. Like, they have some really excellent events. And zero information. People don't even know what it is. So there's this giant kind of weak link that's really, really strange. And it's very frustrating because some of us would like to be able to, schedule our calendars and so forth. So shout out to, Wes for making a great event. And then I don't know who we need to talk to that are dropping the ball on him.
Well, and I'll just show you this. I just quickly looked up Leadville. And look at all these races they do.
Yeah.
Like this is just the Leadville series plus these training camps. Mm-hmm. And it says lifetime over here, as you can see. And what's interesting is when I was first brought on for this, it was our owner, president, whatever, is so about this initiative because he loves fitness and he loves it. Like, it was this whole big fucking deal. And it's like, again, it's like, you don't know where to, like, on the corporate agenda, it just got pushed down and we're doing these 27 other things and we're going to sell more reformer classes and who knows what else. And for some reason, me and you and Matt Halfhill are like the only people like beating the drum of like, hey, people with money, you want to make some money in fitness racing? Because I mean, I just heard from yet another race series, this time somewhere in the Middle East. Looks like they have another X in their name. We'll have a call. We'll see if they have money. We'll see if they want to bring me. But everybody in the world seems to understand that this thing's happening. But let's jump back to HYROX. Okay. We forgot to talk to Bubbles about this new head judge thing, which I'm bummed about. So you can speak to what you can speak to about it, because I know your husband did it. So whatever he permitted you to say publicly, it's not secret. So I don't know why we couldn't talk about it anyway. But the first thing I want to say is I signed up for this thing called RocksRadar. I'm sure you've seen them. They're in your feed constantly. Hey, sign up for notifications. And it was like $15 a month, pick 3 races. And I was like, fine. And the first thing was,
pick 3 races. Like you're watching for 3 races.
Sorry, we will notify you when tickets become available. Which I personally was trying to find a way to write code for a couple of months ago. I was asking chat. I was like, hey, when you go on the site, there's got to be a way to show like the difference between like 0 and 1, and can you could I set that up? Could I hire someone to write that code? And they were like, probably, depends. But all these people scrape HYROX shit all the time. So I assumed it was possible. I thought it might be a little different with buying tickets. Anyway, these guys figured it out. They're like, pick 3 races. Now, if I'm going to pick HYROX Denver, I'm going to ask when men's doubles are available and when mixed doubles is available. Mm-hmm. However, my $15 only covers like 3 races, period. So If I
That
picked
would be 2.
that would be 2 of the 3. And I'm like, well, that sucks.
Okay.
By the way, I wrote them about that. They instantly changed it.
Oh,
so yeah.
Nice.
So now the same cost covers, I think, 5. So that was the way to solve it. I said, why not just give people the whole race? I don't see why you wouldn't just do that. Like, I might want to race solo. I might want to race solo pro. Like, why not just say, let me know when anything's available? So sure enough, I get an email, 3:09 p.m. There's something available for HYROX Denver mixed doubles. I fucking texted you. You said go for it. I bought it. And 3:11, I had a ticket. And so I wrote them and I said, are you being notified like when a batch gets it? They go, nope, as soon as one is available. So I don't know how it works with HYROX. Like when they get, like when I then canceled our fucking Wednesday Dallas, we never wanted to
open up Dallas.
Does that mean it's now immediately open? Like, I don't know how the tech works. The point is, I'm shouting them out. It would behoove me to not shout them out because the more people use this, the likeliest I am to get a ticket. But I am not selfish, and I want people to be able to get their fucking tickets. So use RocksRadar. I think for $50 you get like unlimited. I don't know. I might do unlimited. It works.
Well, as much money as we're spending. Look, the week before you texted me about Denver, I get a message from Jabari House, our friend of the program, and he sends me, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Dallas. I can't remember which one that he said, look, this is open. Do you think this is legit? And I don't trust anybody, right? Like I didn't know what this was. And I said, I have no idea. And in the course of our conversation about this open ticket that he had been able to score, or that he was going to be able to score, it disappeared. Like it had gone out enough that somebody snatched it up. And so it was immediately gone. And he's like, well, there goes that. But I had never heard of it before in my life. And so when you texted me, I thought, well, if he wants to take the risk, I still haven't gotten an email to fill out personalization, but we'll talk about that later.
I thought I forwarded it to you.
No, I'm always, how I'm terrified that they're not going to have the right email address and that's going to ruin everything, right? Like,
you told me to give a very specific email address, so I did it.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it's clearly getting out that this is the way to get tickets, and I love that idea, right? So the fact that it works, I think I'd pay the $50 if I was really, really into getting into races right now. I'd definitely pay the $50. And I think for somebody like you who travels to a lot of them and just wants to hop in, do a fun doubles or something like that, it's a great option.
Well, I mean,
it's RocksRadar,
dude,
right?
I can't RocksRadar. I can't even get fucking spectator tickets sometimes. So it's like, yeah, well worth it. So shout out RocksRadar. It worked. The other thing we're going to talk about is Portland and Seattle on the docket. Wednesday, the dates are coming out.
Portland and San Diego, not Seattle.
Sure.
Are you going to make Phoenix and Las Vegas mistakes with San Diego and Seattle?
Oh, God.
Because I don't think they're doing Seattle because they've got Vancouver. Don't you think?
Well, Vancouver, by the way, did you see? It's Christmas week again. They're like, so congratulations. Like you learned nothing from last year, and I don't think it'll be that way. But who knows? Maybe it will be. Maybe. Am I slow? Is it being slow to you?
Yeah, you're being a little slow.
Still fucking up.
You seem better.
Oh, gone completely. Hello?
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
Okay. Kevin just sent me notes on judging. You ready?
Yeah. Should we preface this about what's been going on this past week?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
Okay. But I thought, are the notes about what happened last week?
Oh, let's back up. Schedule's coming out Wednesday. Portland and San Diego on the docket, along with all the usual suspects. By the time we record next week, we'll be able to dive into the whole schedule, which I currently know, but is not coming out till Wednesday.
Are we going to know majors or elite series races by then?
I know those as well. I don't know if they're announcing that.
Oh.
And then I may or may not. We'll see how I feel about that.
All right.
What was going on last week? Can you give me a hint what you mean?
Well, I guess, you say that Kevin's got notes about judging, and my husband and I spent the better part of an evening trying to help him navigate a probably 10-page application with essays to be a.
Yeah, So this is what I want to talk about. This is the notes he sent me.
Right. And so I'd be curious to hear about his notes on what he thinks.
This is what he said. I'm reading it exactly. Quick. Okay. He says, because I just said, hey, I forgot to ask you. They sent an interest form out via the WhatsApp judges group. They sent out applications to who they wanted to apply with a detailed hierarchy of a development plan. Assistant RD, regional head judge, rotational head judge, leads head judge, judge. That may not be exact, but that's close. The selected head judges will have required training courses to complete before assignment. Head judges will get paid and assigned locally. Regionals will be comped for travel to lead at other regional events. So my understanding is it's like 200 or 250 per shift with no travel for certain judges. Other judges, the rate slightly less. It's like 175, but they get their travel paid for. So that's what I know of. I know that Kevin applied. I know that your husband applied, and that's all I know.
And I don't know when we're going to hear back, but for us, it's going to change our lives if he gets this gig, because
change our lives.
Yeah. I mean, as far as right now, he just follows me to races, and then he just judges. The way he became a head judge initially was we were going to Chicago, and somehow he connected with Lauren Rantala, who was working for HYROX at the time. And so she just got him in, and he was one of the elite judges for one of the first majors. Like, the guy, zero training, like they just plopped him in there, and he spent.
But a fitness background.
Oh, kind of. I mean, he's buff. I wouldn't say that he knows much. I mean, to be perfectly honest, he's just always gone to the gym. Like, yeah.
So you wouldn't say he would be a good guy to guess wall ball form?
He had to learn what good wall ball form is. Okay, I mean, his great superpower is that if you teach him that, he will do his job, right? And so it worked great for him. But they put him in as an elite judge, and he judged a number of majors. And then since, I think, as HYROX has grown, he's usually just a head judge. He's usually a head judge at wall balls, but oftentimes they'll make him a rotational head judge where he'll move around. But again, has he had any formal training? The answer is no. Do they know anything about his background? No. Could he be an axe murderer? They never asked, right? Like, they didn't know anything about these guys. Anybody could just sort of sign up. And it was always interesting for me to see some of the people who ended up being head judges didn't seem to have kind of what HYROX was looking for as far as why they were doing it. I would overhear conversations in the group chat or in the judges training that I was sort of surprised that people would say some things that they did. And it was very clear that there was no kind of overarching philosophy about what all these guys were going there to do. And so here comes this application process where they want to know who you are, and they want to know an awful lot about you. I mean, it's not just why do you want to be a HYROX judge, but tell us every race you have judged and what capacity you judged in. And so we were combing through the calendar trying to come up with all of that. Tell us about a time when an athlete was upset with you and how you handled it. Tell us about a time that you made a mistake and how you fixed it. Like, they want to know kind of an extensive background about your experience as a judge. And yes, I do believe a test will be coming, and you are going to have to pass that test. They want the North American judges to be, I think, the highest quality in the world.
Well, I assume this is happening everywhere, no?
I don't think this is happening everywhere. I think this is Tiffany Peltier's vision, that I think it's coming down. I don't get the impression that this is anything but North America, and that I may be incorrect in that. And so somebody could correct me. But this was her vision last spring. She pulled some of the head judges aside and was telling them that this is what she was trying to get to have happen.
Okay.
And so I think we're now
while you're doing this.
Right. So now we're waiting to see. There are like 4 or 5 regions. There's West Coast. There's, Middle America. There's East Coast. There's Canada. So, for instance, he would be in charge of he would be able to go to any race in the West Coast region, right, which goes over to like Arizona, Colorado, but not into Texas, right? So it would be sort of all the West Coast. So we would be up for, Portland, Anaheim, Phoenix, Las Vegas.
You might end up at all of them.
So they asked how many. I think that if you're going to be a regional head judge, you need to be able to go to between like 3 and 5 at least, but there is the option to go to all of them. And if there is like a major event, I think they might pull you no matter what region that's in. They would pull you in so that they would have the requisite staff to handle the load.
No, but I'm saying you might end up at that entire West Coast contingent.
As far as him working it?
If they put him in Anaheim, San Diego, Portland, Vancouver.
Well, not Vancouver, that's Canada. So
Salt Lake City.
Right.
Denver.
Yeah. Yes.
You can end up at all those races. Phoenix.
You could. Yeah. I don't think they're requiring him to do that. They would still ask him. You know, it would still be up to him whether or not he could make it. But they're going to require at least some, right? He's not going to be able to pick and choose just the ones I race at. So I may be following him to races sometimes and judging, because I could be a volunteer. I wouldn't be able to be a head judge.
Would you want to do that?
If I'm not racing, sure, I would love the experience. Give me ski erg or something though. You know, I'm far too nice. Like I'm not going to be able to do wall balls. I'd be too happy for him, right? Just keep going.
You can go. You can go. Check mark. You can go.
Just wave him through. But yeah, I just think it's just going to be a lot more lockdown, and it's not going to be who you know. And we're going to know their credentials. We're going to know that they have.
This is what we wanted. This is what we've wanted for a long time.
This should have been done 3 years ago. It's time that that every judge that's wearing a black shirt, we know who they are.
Yeah, I get that when they started, they were looking at it like an event. And an event, you need volunteers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Registration, hand out water. And they're like, oh shit, we need a real. Although I should ask Christian, because Christian did build this whole triathlon thing. And I wonder how much like volunteers versus like technical directors or stuff you need, that rule stuff that you need for triathlons. Because that's what he did before this.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be tiered. I think by the time it trickles down to somebody like me, who's just there for a shift, just to help out, I would suspect that they're going to get training on how to train me. So hopefully it's just a lot more organized. I do feel like every year the judging gets better, right? And I just think this is just going to help it be that much better. And so when the major comes to the United States, wherever it's going to be, I think, you know, we're going to have a great team, and it's going to go well. And maybe we won't have some random conversation about something ridiculous happening because people have a little more training this time. I don't know. I was very encouraged. And literally I felt like the application was just to weed out the people who weren't willing to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Right. That's always the first. Yeah. That's always the first step.
It took him days to get it done.
Yeah. That's the first step. It's like, will this person actually do the thing? So good for Tiffany. Good for them. This sounds great. This sounds like I'm moving in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's kind of a great, it's a great pattern for how they could just do it all around the world if they aren't already.
Okay. Well, I think that's everything. And we're at the magic 90-minute mark, which is kind of what we like to do for the week.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when your internet's kind of glitchy.
So annoying. Plus now look at me. I look like shit. I haven't shaved today. And you know, when I've got the good lighting and the headphones, you don't see that my hair isn't made up. So now everyone, this is me in all my glory.
Yeah. We like you anyway. Don't worry.
All right, Cheryl. I think that's it.
Yeah. Nice to talk to you.
All right. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.